Hello, this is Grace Everlasting 7 here, and right in front of me we have a RETRON 5 by Hyperkin, and I'm going to be doing a little review on it. Now, in case you're curious on what exactly comes in the box, you get the RETRON 5 system itself, you get the wireless controller, and it does come with a charging cable. It also comes with an HDMI cable, which I don't have in front of me right now. It is hooked up to the TV. And it also comes with the AC power adapter plug. And it does have a few other power plugs depending on where you live, so they're interchangeable. Mine came with the US one because that's where I live. Okay, let's actually take a look at the RETRON 5 system here. Now, this does play a bunch of games, okay? So it has the slot for Genesis, SNES, NES, and the Famicom. But this also plays Super Famicom games. It can play PAL. It plays the Mega Drive for those of you in Europe. And I believe it also does play Master System games, but you do need to have an adapter, and it does not come with this system. The adapter is sold separately. And also in the front, it has the slot for GBA, Game Boy Advance, but it also plays Game Boy, the original Game Boy games, and the Game Boy Color games. So it plays a whole lot, and output to HDMI 720p. So if you're a person that has a lot of systems and a lot of games and you don't want too much clutter, this is a pretty good system to have. That way you don't have all of your systems all lined up in your entertainment center. I mean, if you have room, that's awesome, but if you don't have room like I do, this is a pretty good buy for that. Okay, let's take a look around the console itself. The power button is on the front, and on the sides it actually has ports. They're covered by these rubber covers here, which is nice, so if you don't use them, they don't get all dusty. And there's 3 on this side for Genesis, NES, and SNES, and it has the same 3 on the other side, Genesis, NES, and SNES, so you can have 1 or 2 player games if you prefer the wired controllers. And on the back is the HDMI output, the USB charging cable for the controller, and the AC adapter for power. And this right here, it says memory. This is for an SD card, and it does not come with an SD card. You have to buy it yourself, but those are handy for any updates that you want to do to the firmware system, software. And if you have Japanese games, you can also load translation patches on it and play those Japanese games in English, which is something I'm planning to do. I'm pretty excited about that. So that is pretty much it for the system here itself. Alright, let's take a look at this controller. Now, the RETRON 5 system only comes with this one controller. Nice, I know they don't think you'll have a friend to play with or something, but I actually don't like this controller. It's wireless, and it's not very good wireless. And the buttons, I just had to show it to you before I said it, because who wants to hear that while they're playing? I don't know what the switches that they use in here, but it's the same thing in these buttons too. And that is highly annoying. Those shoulder buttons are up here, if you even want to call them buttons. And I mean, this thing is a brick. It's not even that comfortable to hold in. These little corners are right into your palms. At least they're right into my palms. My hands are kind of small. And the shoulder buttons are up here, and I just did not like this controller. So I don't recommend using this controller at all. What I did instead of that controller there, was I just picked up a different controller. It looks just like the Super Nintendo controller, has the buttons on the top, and my husband and I, we each got one of these controllers, and we've been playing some games on the RETRON 5 using these controllers, and we have not had a problem. And it has the SNES plug on it, so it works with this system. It also works with the original SNES system as well. So if you have some controllers on your SNES system that aren't doing too well, I recommend getting the old school controller. It works really, really well. Haven't had any problems with it at all. And my husband and I have been playing a bunch of games with that controller. I highly recommend it. I bought it off of Amazon, so you can search for it. Very good. Okay, so that's about it for the RETRON 5 and the controller itself. What I'm going to do now is hook this back up to the TV and run some games through it and show you how they look and how they play. And then I'll come back and give you my final thoughts on this system. Okay, and we have Castlevania III: Dracula's Curse, and this is an NES game. And we have fired it up in the RETRON 5. Just so you're aware, the original controller is not being used, the wireless one that came with the system. It'll just make you mad and curse, so I just plugged up the wired controller. It just works so much better. And I don't have the sound on because I don't want YouTube to get bent out of shape. And the color is good. I don't have a capture card, so I have to film my TV with my camera, unfortunately, at the moment right now. But, I mean, the color is accurate. No problems with the color. The picture looks absolutely awesome. HD, it's great. The audio is good. It doesn't sound terrible. It's got bass, it's got the mids, it's got the trebles, the highs. It's so good. It sounds just like the original, no problems whatsoever. And just playing through it, I mean, it is so smooth. I didn't have any problems with it. There were no hiccups, there was no stuttering. It just plays right through it like a champ, no problem. So this NES cart works just fine. Did not have any problems with it. I really didn't want to stop playing with this. It was a lot of fun going through and just playing a lot of these old games, just popping them into one system and not having to switch them out. But clearly, Castlevania III: Dracula's Curse works just fine. No problems at all. Okay, next up we have Star Fox for the Super Nintendo. And Star Fox has the Super FX chip in it. And I popped this cart into the RETRON 5, it dumped the ROM and loaded it without any problems whatsoever. Let's dive right into this game here and see what happens. Okay, here we go with Star Fox, and it is throwing us out here. I've not played Star Fox in a very long time. Alright, so we are flying through Star Fox here. And it looks really good. No problem with the colors. Again, any colors that don't look right is my camera because I am recording it from my camera to my TV. I don't have a capture card. And we're still using the wired controller. And it works great. But my skills stink. Been a little while. Got a little rusty on the original Star Fox. But as you can see, it is playing it smooth. There are no problems, no stutterings, no graphical glitches, no audio glitches. Again, I don't have the audio on because YouTube will get mad. But everything sounded great, ran great, runs it like a champ pretty well. So that's it for the Super Nintendo. No problems there. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, and the last game, Super Mario Advance 4, which is Super Mario Bros. 3, because this is a Game Boy Advance game here. And I popped it into the Game Boy slot. It loaded the ROM, started right up, no problems. So we're just gonna pick a file here and go on through this game for a bit, play a level, and see how it runs. Again, I don't have any sound on here. Using the regular controller. Again, this game was looking good, playing good. The audio is fine, the video is fine, the colors look great, no problems whatsoever. It plays smooth, I didn't notice any stuttering. Overall, I'd say we have another winner. So it played Game Boy Advance games no problem. And we're back, and we've had a few chances to run those games through the system, and you've heard my thoughts as we've played those games. Now, for the final overall review of this system, I recommend this system. I think it's great for the money. You get a whole bunch of systems that you can play on here. Different cartridges work on it. It doesn't have a region lock, so it works with the European PAL games and all the Japanese games. The only thing I don't like is this controller. I would say that they could have left this controller out completely and maybe make the system a little bit cheaper, have it priced a little bit lower. I really could have done without that controller. It's awful. I don't like it at all. But that's easily remedied by getting a secondary controller, just different ones. And this wired one has a 10-foot cable, which is awesome. I can actually sit on the couch instead of having to sit in front of my coffee table with some of the short ones. So this system, I highly recommend it. It's great. The NES looked great. The SNES looked great. It sounded good. And like I said, this is an emulator console. It takes the ROMs off the carts and dumps it into the system, and that's how it plays it. So it's not a clone console. Clone consoles play from the cart. So overall, I would highly recommend this. If you are a person that collects for a bunch of these systems, I think this is a great buy, especially if you're low on space. And also, like me, I'm having a little trouble trying to find original SNES and NES consoles that are in pretty good condition. So this is also another alternative, and you have all of these systems. It's a pretty great value, so I would highly recommend picking this up. Alright, that wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching this, and if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below. Please check out my other gaming videos. Like, comment, and subscribe, or dislike if you didn't like it. Totally up to you. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.